I think about those memes that you see or those interviews they do with people on their deathbed, and they talk about all the things they never had the chance to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be one of those guys. I wanted to say, I took a bet on myself. I gave it my best shot.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Season 4. Season 4 of the No Easy Way Out podcast. I can't believe it. We've done 3 seasons and I'm excited to start Season 4. We are coming to you today from our brand new offices in downtown Owasso, and we are so excited to show you our new office suites when they're all completed. But this is the first episode that we've filmed in this new suite, and we are excited to show it to you. And I am also excited about my guest today. He's someone that we've had on the podcast before, but when he was here before, he was a colleague. But now he is part of the AZEE team, and he is the one, the only, the distinguished Mike Masters. Mike, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing real good, Tone. Thanks.
Welcome to Season 4, Episode 1 of the No Easy Way Out podcast. It's exciting to have you here. I think you were on Season 2, Episode 1, or Season 3, Episode 1. You were on Episode 1 of another season. But we wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you to our audience and let them know a little bit about what you're going to be doing here and why you decided to join the AZEE team, and also just to get to know you a little bit. So let's get right into it, man. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about what you do here at AZEE.
Cool. Well, Michael Masters, 41-year-old male.
This isn't a dating profile.
Oh, okay.
This is just likes long walks on the beach.
Yes, I'm a creative individual, and so it's no mistake that Tony and I crossed paths in Owasso maybe like 6 years ago.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, and so we've, I think, if we've done so much work together leading up to the day when I actually did join the team, but I think I remember actually sitting in with you, and I was a little unhappy with my former job. I was not expressing myself creatively,
Mm-hmm.
and
well, listen, we're going to get into all the details of how this came to be. I just want to give you an opportunity to give our audience a little taste of the one and only Michael Masters, Michael.
Sure.
Now, if you've known Michael for a while, he is an absolutely amazing talent. One of the most talented graphic designers I've ever met. Some of the work that I have seen him do before he joined our team and since he's joined our team is absolutely incredible. So your gift for graphic design is phenomenal. I want to get deep into that, and we'll talk about that so that our audience knows exactly, how having you as a part of this team can really help grow their brand and help their business. And we'll talk about some of the projects we've worked on already and some that we're looking forward to working on in the future. So let's go back to little baby Mike.
Yeah.
Right? So you didn't grow up in Owasso. Where'd you grow up, Michael?
I grew up in the city of Gardens, also
City
called
of Gardens.
Garden City,
Yes.
which suburban Detroit area. I spent a couple of years in Dearborn Heights too, and we just from there kind of slowly moved out west. I graduated in Garden City, but then moved out west to Howell, where I had worked with my family's home improvement business. My dad opened up his own home improvement company, and Masters Home Improvement. And
Great name.
yes,
But the last name Masters, that's a great name.
Yeah, you gotta use it. So he started that in Howell right around the time 2001 when they started really booming in the for home improvements and residential construction. And so me and my brothers, we all moved out, and moved out there, and right alongside him just started working on the crews and building homes and additions, decks, roofs, all that kind of stuff. And then
You learn to work with your hands.
yes, I am a builder as well. So
Yeah.
it's kind of something I think I just take with me
Yeah.
into
Well,
everything.
that's part of
I
the
do.
creative process.
Yeah.
Well, when you were a young boy, again, we're now past baby Mike. Now we're little Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
What did like Mike Jr.? What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh man,
Did it change every day?
I'm not sure that I ever really quite knew what I wanted to be. Maybe a Ninja Turtle. I think
Which one? Who was your go-to Ninja Turtle?
Leonardo was definitely my favorite.
Unconventional choice. I was a Michelangelo man myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one I was slated for because of the obvious name matchup, but
Sure.
but
And the
Leonardo
two
was my
katana
guy.
blades, yes.
Yeah.
So when was it that you started to realize that you had this creative gene? When you started to kind of realize that your brain didn't work like all the other kids and you had this kind of side of your brain that made you want to create things?
I think I've always sort of known that. I know me and my other brother Tommy, we were sort of the creative ones of the family, and we were always looking for ways to express ourselves. I'd also found interest growing up in audio engineering too. So I had a stint where I thought I was going to be a famous audio engineer and run my own studio.
Name
recording
one
studio.
famous audio engineer.
Uh,
You were going to be the first.
well, in the Midwest, that was
Yeah.
the difficulty of making something like that work.
Yeah.
But it turns out that God had other plans for me. I had it was about 2 weeks that I was getting ready to head to Full Sail University in Florida. Had all my accommodations, my rent was ready to go. All my tuition was financial stuff was in place. And then I found out I was having a daughter. So God said, I think we're going to keep you around here.
Yeah.
And so I thought my life was over, but little did I know that he had a different trajectory for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And how can you be sad when you find out you're having a little girl? So,
Nope.
well, so I know you haven't always worked in the creative field. Tell us about some of the jobs you had along the way before you finally landed on, this is what I want to do full time.
Yes, my very first job was when I was 10 years old. I worked with my grandfather. He delivered papers in the Garden City area, the Free Press, and I woke up on like 3 a.m. on Sunday mornings to help him with that. He paid me $15 a day, and I also got breakfast at the Magic Meal.
Oh, nice.
And
That's a good deal.
Yeah, so in some good times with Grandpa. And then I worked tons of fast food places throughout my teens until I was kind of old enough to really be of use to it was my uncle's home improvement company.
Yeah.
So he had a window company, and when I was 15, I kind of joined that in the summers I would do like work on the crews.
Yeah.
And help them, be a gopher, basically, go for this, go for that.
Right.
And I would clean up, and then eventually they'd let me do little things. They'd let me use the caulk gun, and then eventually I got pretty good at that, and they let me bend metal so I could do the custom trim on the exterior, and so got a little better at that. Actually, that became my favorite part of the process, but. Yeah, there's a little bit of an art to
sure.
home improvements as well. But
sure.
I really loved installing siding. That was your
thing.
Vinyl siding was kind of because you could really do a lot. Different installers did things differently, and you could make it what you wanted to, and so we had happy customers.
Yeah. Now, was that at Pure Energy? Is that the company?
That was at Masters Home Improvement.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and Pure Energy came much later. That was also my uncle's company, and so that we did mostly windows and doors. Mm-hmm. And I was a measurement, a window measure tech.
Yeah.
So I just traveled the Michigan countryside and went house to house and got to meet a lot of wealthy people, and measured their windows for them.
Yeah.
Very accurately.
Yes, very accurately, down to the centimeter.
Yeah.
So you know how to read a tape measure, unlike
Yeah.
myself. So, well, so then I know along that, I mean, a good portion of your adult life was spent in that kind of arena, that field. But along the way, you went to school. for graphic design,
Yep.
and you started your own gig,
Hmm.
and you called it. It was just something you were doing on the side, right?
At the time I started, I graduated Baker in 2015, and then I initially started as a DBA under just my name, Michael
Yeah.
Masters, graphic designer,
Yeah.
and then it was within
Take you a long time to come up with that name.
pretty much. I thought, well, what what do freelance designers name their business?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So eventually, I kind of, I came up with a Bizarre Design Lab. I love the idea. I love the lab elements, laboratory elements, and it was the whole idea was the creative solutions with design and pairing those up, and so yeah, I ran with that for a long time as a freelance designer. We did a lot of work, you and I,
Yeah.
together for that. I think some of our favorite project probably to date was the Johnny V's.
Johnny V's project was awesome.
interior.
Yeah, well, I mean, you started right around the same time I did. We started our company in 2015, and I had some exposure to some of your work right away. And I was like, man, this guy is gifted. This guy's talented. A lot of graphic designers design from a computer screen, and so they're using different tools to make lines and artwork. And you actually, for the majority of your designs, you sketch everything out by hand first, get your inspiration, and then you put it in the computer from there. So it's a truly artistic process. And when I saw some of the things that you could do, I was like, man, I would love to have someone like that on Team AZEE someday. Of course, at that time, I was a solopreneur looking to grow my own business. And then, of course, Johnny V's is one of our long-standing clients, and they came to us. They were expanding, they were opening a new location. They needed some ideas for art on the wall, and we came up with this concept, brought it to Michael, and Michael just really made it come to life. And there's a video out there that exists of us going through that process together. But if you haven't been to Johnny V's in Perry, you should go. And if you look at the first part of their building there on the left, when you walk in, that first before they expanded, everything you see on the walls was really hand-drawn and turned into vector artwork by Michael Masters. And then, of course, over the couple years, we've just worked together, and when it was appropriate and when we needed to help each other, and you kind of grew and I kind of grew, and we talked about different opportunities of maybe working together, but just really it never had fallen into place. And then probably about 6 months ago or so, you had reached out to me right around the time when we were moving to these new offices. And you said you've just been following our journey. You've kind of seen our vlogs and different things. And you thought, I'd like to be a part of something like that. So tell our audience a little about what it was that went through your mind when you decided you wanted to leave your full-time job, not necessarily leave Bizarre Design Lab. You still do a little bit with that, but leave your full-time job with Pure Energy and come work for us and do this graphic design thing full-time.
Yeah, I just remember, there was a sort of just this annoying, maybe it's a voice, maybe it's like a knocking sound throughout my working life. And as I get older, I just think about, why am I continuing to remain in the home improvement industry? I mean, it's an industry that I'm really good at, and it pays really well, of course. But I just remember thinking, I think about those memes that you see, or those interviews they do with people on their deathbed, and they talk about all the things they never had the chance to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be one of those guys. I wanted to say, I took a bet on myself. I gave it my best shot,
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't imagine myself not doing something creative with my time. And so,
Yeah.
and so there's such a, and your business was thriving too. And you've got a lot of great clients that are just recurring. And so I just remember driving on my way in the morning to an appointment to go measure some windows. And I just was like, why don't you call Tony? Because, you guys have bounced around this idea before. And I remember giving you a call. And so we set up a meeting to get together, and the rest
Rest is history.
History. Yeah.
We're history in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've been with us for several months now, and right off the bat, we took on a new big client that was monthly design, doing all of their graphic design, a large company here in Owasso, Josh's Frogs. And that has turned into a big project, which we enjoy. And we've kind of been helping them with all of their branding and packaging and all of their marketing collateral. And so we have big plans for where we want to go. We've talked a lot about, well, both Michael and I are dreamers. And so we talk a lot about where we want to go and where we want to take this thing. And, we want Michael to evolve into the role of not just designing, but inspiring and leading a team of designers that could really provide any type of solution for clients, not just in our area, but all over the country, really, and help them with their graphic design needs and help. I think one of the funnest things that I enjoy about graphic design is when somebody comes to you with just an idea or a concept, but they have no idea how to make it into something that works, taking that idea and turning it into something that they just are excited to see. And so I look forward to our relationship together and where this thing could go and where we could take this thing and how we can really inspire clients around our other businesses around us to really go all in with their graphic design and their marketing like that. So we're excited to have you as a part of the team. Now, recently we did a meet the team post so that we could kind of give our audience a little sample of Mike Masters, and some of your answers were very interesting that you answered. And so I wanted to go over some of those. In your interview, you said that if something funny happens and no one is around, you just laugh with God. So give us an example of a time that you just by yourself were laughing with God. Does this happen regularly?
This does happen very often because, you might not know it just if you met me, but I'm sort of an introvert by nature. So I do spend a lot of time in my own head, and I find a lot of things comical. And when I do, I tend to think of, like God is all around us all the time.
Yeah.
And because of that, I sort of relate my journey. He's there with me through the journey,
Yeah.
And so anytime anything funny happens, or even to myself, if I were to trip and stumble on something, I'm going to say, why'd you put that there? Or, we're just...
And you literally LOL.
Yeah, exactly.
You laugh out loud.
I do. I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. I laugh at other people's jokes, even if they're not funny, just for their own benefit,
Okay. Well, I want to dig in about your AZEE Zombie Apocalypse team. I didn't say that right. Zombie Apocalypse team. The question was, if you had to choose a team of 3 people to go into the zombie apocalypse with you from AZEE, who would that be? And you chose me, Dan, and Josiah. Mm-hmm. And tell us why that team is your Avengers.
Yeah, I believe it was, I chose you definitely because you are...
That's an obvious choice.
Yeah, I needed to have someone that we'd be able to get behind and trust that was going to get us from building to building, in situations like this when one of us might want to just kind of like run out the door a little too quickly. Tony's going to be there to be like, guys, come on, we got to like really...
Let's go. Man up. Yeah. Got it.
And so definitely you're there to lead us through the whole ordeal, make sure that, we don't get eaten alive. Dan, of course, you might not even be able to tell from first glance, but the guy is pretty ripped.
You might not be able to tell, but Dan is ripped.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes he'll wear these like
medium shirts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's other times where you're like, man, I never realized like how beefy you were. And so
Dan's the muscle.
Dan's the muscle for sure. I know he's going to get us through.
Beefy Dan.
Yep. And then Joey was the one that I knew I could outrun for sure.
You could outrun Joey. Yeah. Joey runs like 10 miles 3 times a week. He's an endurance runner. I don't know if he's a sprint runner, but
Oh, okay.
He could probably run longer than all of us, but maybe not run faster.
I could be giving myself too much credit. I don't know. I do think that I'm younger than I actually am sometimes.
Well, in my experience with Joey's one of the most competitive people I've ever met. So I don't know that he would let himself he would let himself die before he lost in the race. But all right, so your favorite TV show is Star Trek Discovery. Tell our audience why you're such a nerd.
Okay, I'm to be completely candid. I'm not a faithful the old Star Trek nerd. I mostly like the newer productions that they've put out on Paramount Plus, and I don't know why I ever got hooked onto it. I was looking for something that was family friendly that I could watch with Mikey Jr. And that we tried that one time, and I'm like, yeah, this is all right. And he actually asked me to watch the next episode, so it just turned into a thing. And now I'm in love with it.
You know, I've never seen a single episode or movie of Star Trek.
Oh,
I never watched Star Wars till I was in my mid-20s. Like, I grew up when we weren't sci-fi people, but you know, now I had boys, and like you said, you watch stuff with the kids, and my boys really liked Star Wars, and they really liked the MCU.
mm.
And And I know you and I have talked about the MCU, so I'm going to give you the opportunity right now. You might have to think for a second.
I will.
But I want you to list for our audience your top 5 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
Oh, geez.
You can go 5 to 1 or 1 to 5, whatever you want to do.
I definitely will have to start with.
You don't have to put them in order. You can just list your 5 favorite.
Yeah, that might be easier for me because, well, I'm one of those movie critics where, well, the critic isn't even in me. I just love everyone. So, I'm a big fan of Iron Man.
My favorite one of all time.
Yep. Let's see. I think the Hulk is another favorite of mine. I didn't think they blended very well overall, but just his character in and of itself was like intriguing to me.
Okay.
I really gotta do 5. Ant-Man, but mostly just because it's Paul Rudd.
Are you listing your 5 favorite characters or your 5 favorite movies?
I think it comes down to, I do get sort of
invested in a character.
Yeah.
So Iron Man, Hulk, Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other 2 favorite characters?
Can we come back to that?
We'll come back to that one.
I'm gonna process that.
All right.
This is important stuff.
This is very, very important. Earth-shattering stuff. So you said that if you could switch jobs with anyone at AZEE, you would switch with Josiah. And that was interesting to me because you and Josiah do the same thing. So tell us why you would switch with Josiah.
Mostly because I know I would be comfortable. I would be able to just jump right in and
you wouldn't have to jump out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So you said you have this irrational fear.
Yeah.
Of parking in a steep driveway. What is that about?
It's every time there's a steep driveway, I come in, and I mean, like I was telling you, I was out on the road a lot, and when I would find myself in that situation, I'd put it in park, and there's just a part of me that's like, this is going to slip out of the transmission, and the thing's just going to roll backwards, and then I'm going to be stranded, and maybe have to fix someone's mailbox or whatever. And I have no idea why that is, but I always have to enable the parking brake just to be sure.
That is I've never heard of that one before. I've never heard of that one. Okay, so this kind of brings us back to movies.
Okay.
Because you said if Hollywood were to make a movie about you, you would want Chris Pratt to play you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that, but I want to know, what would the movie be called? The movie about Michael Masters. What would you title that movie?
Oh man. I'm hoping you don't have an idea for that.
I will plead the fifth.
The awkward laughing guy.
The awkward laughing guy. It sounds like a working title, but I like it. Starring Chris Pratt, the awkward laughing guy. I love it. I love it. So did you come up with your final two Star Wars characters, or not Star Wars, but
no.
Marvel characters yet?
Let's go. Hawkeye's pretty cool too.
Hawkeye's cool. So you got one more.
Um,
Maybe we should have asked if you had a zombie apocalypse team with 5 Avengers, who would that be?
okay.
Yeah, Iron Man, Hulk, Ant-Man, Hawkeye. Who's number 5?
I think Vision would have my back.
Vision.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. These are very unconventional choices, but I would expect nothing less from the one and only Mike Masters. So we've gotten to do some pretty cool projects already since you've been here. But what is your favorite thing about working at AZEE?
Man, I get to be creative every day, and it's like I count my blessings every day too. So when I wake up in the morning, I do my gratitudes, and I'm always thankful for my fiance Crystal and my family and my kids, for a God that never leaves my side, and then like this is a place where I can I can feed my family and be creative at the same time. It's just,
well, I always tell people if you get paid to do what you love, you've won. And at that point, it doesn't really matter how much you make. I mean, obviously we have to have a certain amount of money to live, but when you can go to work every day and enjoy what you do, you've really won the game. Because so many people don't. They say 94% of Americans hate their job. So if you can go and do something that you love, that's great. So, and I know, we got to work on this Corey Shook project where she came to us with an idea for a huge wall mural or a piece of art that would go across the wall. How big was that wall? 9 feet by
like 35 feet, I think.
35 feet wide by 9 feet tall. And she gave you all of these sayings and quotes. And then you had to kind of put it all together in like this collage that represented her. And it was a big project and took a little while, but it looks incredible. And we'll show some footage of that playing right now, but it looked absolutely amazing, and you did a good job on that. So before we end the episode, though, we'd like to do something here that we call Say It in 60, where you have to answer 10 rapid-fire questions in 60 seconds, and if you do that successfully, then the boss is going to buy you lunch.
Okay.
Maybe not today, but you pick the day, and the boss will buy you lunch.
I remember I did it last time. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to do it.
These are different questions. So,
okay.
Mr. Snyder, can you put 60 seconds on the clock for us, sir?
Zach's in the house.
All right. What is a must-read book?
Good to Great.
What is a daily habit that everyone should do?
Make their bed.
What is your favorite podcast?
No Easy Way Out podcast.
It doesn't have to be ours, but that's a good one.
Okay.
What is a must-binge TV series?
Star Trek Discovery.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
More Than Words.
What is your why?
Oh my gosh. You did ask me this one before. Help others who were in my place before me.
What is your best piece of advice?
Don't take the easy way out.
That's a good one. What's your favorite quote?
Oh man.
Come back to it. Who do you look up to?
I look up to my grandpa VG.
What is success to you?
Success.
Oh, and the time is over. We still want to hear your answers, but what is success to you?
Success to me is a state of mind.
Okay. And what is your favorite quote?
Jeez. Why am I always thinking about your favorite quotes?
Because it's a good one.
You can't, never could until you try.
That's a good one. That is a good one. That's from my mother. So, all right. The last thing we're going to do before we say farewell, we just wanted to give our audience a little chance to get to know you. We've learned some fun facts about you. We've learned kind of what you do here at AZEE. And I just want to say that if you need something created in the world of graphic design, if you can dream it, he can create it. And we want to help you with that project. But we have this part where we say, it's called Explain That Post. And I've pulled up a post here that I did a deep dive on your Facebook page.
Uh-oh.
And I found this picture. Do you have your phone? Because I'm texting this to you right now.
Okay.
And I think this picture needs a little more context.
Scaring me here.
Yeah, what's going on here with these four
Nice.
gentlemen?
Did you happen to see the other image that went along with this one?
I saw the other image, and we'll pop that up right now here so people can see it. But please explain, why you're so tightly nestled up. Looks like on a banana boat with three other dudes.
So these are my brothers, and we're going from
That makes me feel a lot better.
right to left. We're youngest to oldest, and my mom in one of those cheesy photograph sessions that we had as kids in the 80s, had us pretty much set up this way, and we were just recreating that during
moment.
Christmas. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that those are your brothers. I didn't know if those were just your really good buddies. That makes me feel so much better. Well, Michael, thank you so much for taking time out of the day today to give our audience a little bit of chance to get to know you. Is there anything you'd like to tell our audience, or anything you'd like to know if they want to find Michael Masters? You can look right there and tell them.
No, I'm just thankful to AZEE, and I'll say, hey, Crystal, I love you, girl. And
Shout out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us. We're excited. Episode 1 of Season 4. We're glad to be it. We'll be bringing you episodes every week here going forward. So make sure you check us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. Check us out. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear about topics that you want to learn about. And we will be interviewing a lot of entrepreneurs from around our community in the coming months. And we're just excited and grateful that you're here with us. So we thank you for joining us. As my mother always said, you can't and never could until you tried. So go out there and try something great, my friends, and don't take the easy way out. We'll see you next time.